Hello, welcome back. We hope you're enjoying the videos on our Track It. This is the final video in the series and it may be a long one, so stay with us. It's going through quite a lot of functions and showing you the more advanced features of Track It. But before I get started and show you in depth the advanced functions, I do want to talk about a couple of little extra things that are worth noting. So you'll notice the speed button here on the front of the Track It. The speed button's used for a lot of functions, and I'll explain that in due course when we go through the learn mode and the advanced areas of the device. But it also has its own function as a straight button. So to press speed, it'll affect the speed, but it's not what you think. It's not the scanning speed. It's the cursor speed on the screen. So I'll show you that straight away, and you'll remember that we're set up in 2 switch mode. So if I just press it, you'll see that that's on 8. That's the fastest speed we have, and you can cycle through the speeds of the cursor speed there all the way around. So 1 to 8 for slow to fast. So if I put that on 2, and if I was to let that come out, and we're on the up direction straight away, so I'll move it to a diagonal, you'll see the speed of the cursor has changed dramatically. So it's a lot slower than it was before. And it does speed up as you go, so you have a little bit more consistency of speed, but a lot slower than it was in previous methods. So I'll just take that back up to show you the difference in speed, and we'll come back around to go back in the opposite direction, and you'll see the speeds dramatically change straight away. You'll notice the speed isn't too fast even on the fastest setting, and that's on purpose obviously, so it doesn't fly around the screen. You have some degree of control there. The other thing to note about the device is that it has a built-in sleep function. So if the device hasn't been used for a long period of time, 5 minutes, it automatically powers down. The lights will extinguish, and if it's on the 1 switch scanning mode, it'll stop scanning. To wake it back up, it's just simply pressing any button. So if you are travelling with it and you put it into a bag, you don't need to worry about it staying on in the battery and it sort of kicking you out of different modes or moving around the different settings and losing where you were. So the sleep function's there and available, so if the lights go out any time, it just needs waking back up. Okay, so now we're going to go into learn mode. We do so by holding down the speed button. You get that warbling tone there to say we're into learn mode, and the first option you come across is scan rate. The scan rate is the amount of time between each change of direction or button as the 1 switch function scans around all the different options. As a default, we're on number 3, so 3 red LEDs are lit up, and that's 1 second between each scan. So as we move around, you can add more and more time to that increment, or you can take it down lower. But for the sake of this example, I'm going to leave it on 8. So when we come back out, I'll show you how long that increment is between each scanning option. We press speed to move into the next one, and the next one is dwell time. So dwell time is the amount of time that you have between your last cursor movement and it changing to the next one, so within scanning. As a default, you have 5 seconds there, but I'm going to move it right the way up to 10 seconds to show you that sort of elongated as well. So now we're into the next part of learn mode, which is the switch 1 latch. So switch 1 latch, you get these 2 options, left and right, and as a default, when it's on left, latch is off. If you move it onto right, which latch is on, and I'll show you that in a moment, what that basically means is it changes the function of the switch. So you'll have noticed on our first video about 1 switch, you have to press it once to select the direction, then hold it down to move it. With the latch on, you don't have to do that function. And again, I'll show you as we come out of this how that works. So this is switch 2, and this is the next part of learn mode. In learn mode, when you're on the switch 2 and you're in 1 button mode, so it must remind you that this is in 1 button mode, you can set the switch 2 to be something completely of its own. So in this case, it's double click. So we'll leave that as double click. The next, obviously, if you're in 2 switch mode, the second switch is your scanner. So you don't get to select what it is; it's automatically a scanner. But in 1 switch mode, you can use the second switch as another function. If we move along, we choose the port that's number 3, and in this case it's already set up as drag lock, but I'm going to actually change that to left click for the demonstration purposes. And then if we move along to the next part of learn mode, it's the 4th switch, and that's default set up to right click. And then we're out of learn mode. Okay, so now we're out of learn mode and we're into 1 switch mode as well, and it should start scanning, but obviously a lot slower than before. So you'll see it scanning around, taking a lot more time. And when it gets to a right direction that I want to move in that direction, I'll show the difference between latch on and latch off. So before I have to press the button and move, this time I can press it and press it once and not have to hold it down and it's moving along. Press it again to stop, or again to start, and then I've set this up as left click if you remember rightly, so I can press that to add it to the car. So that's everything in learn mode. It's a lot to take in there. I do implore you, if you have the track kit, to go through your instructions, have a really good play and set it up how you need to set it up for your specific uses. But that's track it, that's everything to do with track it. Lots to go through and lots of fun to have with our scanning, with our switch interface, which turns it into a nice switch scanning mouse. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions at all, please get in touch.